Otago University has just announced that they are spending over $1 million on what appears to be payouts to humanities staff that have been let go. I'm assuming that we're talking about severance and that sort of thing for staff that are moving on. Let's just have a look at a couple of things, how the ODT has reported this. The first quote is Q6 there, Tim. 5 staff in the music department, 2 in the history and art history department, and 4 in the languages and cultures department have lost their jobs. No staff would be cut in the English and linguistics department, and negotiations with the anthropology and archaeology department were ongoing. Now, Dominic, George, this is the conversation that here in ODT TV we've been having probably all year, and it looks like now the rubber's hit the road and we know actually what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I hate seeing jobs go from anywhere, particularly in a place where I have a personal affinity to. I studied in this particular division at university, majored in history and art history. They were separate departments then, incidentally. They had to merge and now they're going to be losing staff from it. Yeah, a real shame. Interesting to see what has happened with the English and the linguistics department. They've actually bandied together, as it were, and have said, look, we've got some sort of solution here. We understand what you're doing. We understand the reality behind it. But what we've done is thought outside the square a little bit, and we've come up with a solution which means that we don't have to actually let people go altogether. Sure, some of them are going to take a pay cut, but even then it appears that those that pulled the strings haven't been or have been less than forthcoming in terms of accepting this particular proposal. It looks like they actually have, though.
Yeah, well, what's happened is one of the things they've done, and I'm sure it's more deeper and more detailed than this, is they've offered to take leave without pay, rolling over 4 years. So different people take it at different times, and obviously the money that they save in that is now put back towards their salaries, and they were originally going to actually, I think they say 3 jobs, and now there's none. However, the staff doesn't seem that stoked about it, because it seems that the staff in that department are saying the university is not even acknowledging what we've done to help keep staff. Here's a quote from an anonymous staff member on Q8. The university, far from being grateful for us solving the university's problem, treated us as if we were being a nuisance or trying to play some sort of trick and reject our proposal, claiming it had no strategic justification. Yeah, well, no strategic justification. What about the strategy of keeping people employed? I think that's a reasonable enough strategy. And it appears that they have actually, after a couple of weeks, and dozens of meetings, as reported in the Otago Daily Times, they have actually accepted that proposal now as well. So that is, I guess, on the one hand, you've got you got leave without pay, which would be grating, certainly at a time when it's your time and that rolls around, that's going to be like, but I guess, you've managed to keep a few jobs in the system, which is a good thing. We don't know what the leave is. If you had to take 6 months off with no pay and you've got a partner who's working and you can scrape through, then you know for the next 3.5 years, you're safe.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The report's coming out that there are 16 jobs going. The Pro-Vice-Chancellor is saying between 15 and 20 jobs going. The actual figure is $1,016,202 in payouts. The only question I have now is, if it's 16 staff and it's just over $1 million, it's about $62,000 per staff member. That sounds like a salary.
Yeah, it does.
So it sounds like they're paying them a salary to leave. Why don't they just employ them and pay them the salary?
That's right. Yeah,
because it's about 62 grand per person divided by 16.
And they'll say because that's a one-off cost, and we won't have to keep dishing out that $1 million plus for the next how many years?